The Department of Public Health and Human Services is pleased to bring you Aging Horizons. Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, fraud, legal issues, veterans benefits, and caregiving. Aging Horizons is a program dedicated to inform and prepare Montanans on these timely issues, making a difference to you and your loved ones. Here now is today's program host.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Aging Horizons. This is your host, Wilma Collins. Today with us we have Commissioner James Brown. He is Securities and Insurance Commissioner and also the Montana State Auditor. We also have with us Ted Bidon, who is also the Bureau Chief for Insurance Consumer Services. Stay tuned and we will be right back.
Can you say ombudsman?
Bidsman. Benson?
Uma Doodlesman?
Fortunately, you don't have to say it right to get the help of a long-term care ombudsman. If you or a loved one reside in assisted living or long-term care, an ombudsman can help resolve any issue. And these services are completely free and confidential. Now, why don't you try that again?
Ombudsman.
Did you just text me?
I didn't want to disturb you if you were sleeping.
Sleeping? I'm sitting right next to you, silly.
There you are. Hey, I found a couple of Medicare helping programs online that I think we ought to look into.
It says if we qualify, we can get help paying for our prescription drugs. Oh, and there's a program that can help pay our Part B premium.
To learn more about extra help and Medicare savings programs, call your local SHIP counselor today.
Maybe I better text him.
You've probably seen some big-name celebrities on your TV lately talking about all the Medicare benefits you're missing out on. But the insurance companies who are paying for these ads may be pushing benefits not available in Montana. Fortunately, help is available from a friendly state health insurance assistance program counselor who can help you sort it all out. It's free, and we screen everyone for eligibility regardless of your zip code. It's Montanans helping Montanans. Call today.
A message from FireSafe Montana. Being a part of a community means working towards the safety of all. As a landowner in the wildland-urban interface, this means doing your part to protect your community from a devastating wildfire. Have you done your part? Fuel mitigation projects, ignition-resistant construction techniques, defensible space, safe evacuation routes. FireSafe Montana and your local fire authority can help. This message brought to you by FireSafe Montana and aired by the Montana Broadcasters Association.
We're back, and today we have two important guests with us. This is Aging Horizons, a program brought to you by the Montana Department of Public Health and Human Services. Today we have Commissioner James Brown with us, Commissioner of Securities and Insurance and Montana State Auditor. We also have Ted Bidon, who is the Bureau Chief for Insurance Consumer Services and Investigators. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
So, Commissioner, let's start with you. Can you briefly summarize the Commissioner of Securities and Insurance, Montana State Auditor? What is it you do?
Yes, thank you for that question. Most people don't really have an understanding of what our agency does. Part of the reason for that is the title of Montana State Auditor is a bit misleading. Our agency doesn't audit any of the functions of government. What we do, as you mentioned, is we do regulate insurance providers in Montana. We also regulate securities providers in Montana. Part of the insurance piece deals with regulating the industries that provide insurance, but we also, by the direction of the legislature, represent Montana consumers who have complaints perhaps or issues with their insurance provider. And then a very important piece, which many Montanans don't understand, is we're actually a criminal justice agency, so we prosecute those who engage in insurance fraud. So we do a variety of things at the auditor's office.
Thank you. And Ted, can you explain the CSI's involvement in insurance rate process?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's important to understand that CSI as an agency, we don't set the insurance rates, but we do regulate them. Okay. And it's important to understand that I think sometimes people think we set the rates, but we really don't. There's really three factors that we look at a very high level when we're talking about regulating the rates. And the first is we look to see if the rates are excessive. Obviously, if the rates are excessive, that's going to be negative for the consumers, and that's our primary focus, is to protect the consumer.
Right.
So we make sure those rates aren't excessive. And then next, we want to make sure that the rates aren't inadequate. If the rates are too low, then the company is at risk of going insolvent. They pay too many claims. They can't afford the cost, and that also wouldn't be good for consumers in Montana. We want them to have lots of options and choices with different insurance companies. And the third factor we look at is, are they being unfairly discriminatory?
Okay.
If we have two parties that are very similar, say two homes, for example, those should be rated fairly similarly. There shouldn't be any disparity in the way that they're rated, so we want to make sure that that's true to protect consumers as well. If you're kind of an insurance nerd like me, we do have a great webinar on our website that's entitled Insurance Rates. Why are they increasing? It's about 45 minutes long, and it's done by our wonderful actuaries at the agency. They do a deep dive into all of that information. It's really intriguing.
Yes, Ted, I'm sure there are many moving parts in your insurance division. Can you talk about some of the different roles in your division?
Sure, yeah. We've got many different divisions within the agency. I handle our insurance consumer services, which we affectionately call ICS. We like our abbreviations in government, right? Then we also have the investigations division, but there's more. We have our rates division, which works on the rates that we just talked about. We have producer licensing, exams, it goes on. And the one thing I can say about working at CSI is the people there are really well educated and knowledgeable in their fields and areas of expertise. They do a terrific job. In ICS, our focus is on the consumer. We're that frontline person that you'll talk to if they call in. And we're there to help them resolve any disputes or answer any questions that they would have with their insurance company or an agent. And then our investigations division focuses on making sure that companies and agents are complying with the law, and then also focusing on, which is a big issue for us, is fraud, insurance fraud. When insurance fraud occurs, that cost, it gets passed on to the consumer. So by reducing insurance fraud, we help keep those rates under control, and that's a big mission of the agency.
Great. Commissioner Brown, can you start by explaining why homeowners in Montana, especially seniors, are seeing such steep increases in the insurance premium?
Yes. Unfortunately, Montana is seeing some of the highest increases in homeowners insurance premiums in the country. It's very unfortunate. According to the National Association of Realtors, this year Montana is projected to have the 5th highest increase in homeowners insurance. I know it's very disappointing. It's very troubling. There's several reasons for this. One is the reality is that homeowners insurance premiums in Montana were historically underpriced, and so the market is catching up with those right now. Excuse me. Second thing is that, as we know, a lot of people are attracted to coming to Montana and want to live in this beautiful state. And as we know, the housing inventory in Montana is very low, and it's not keeping up with the number of persons that want to live here. So the cost of housing is going up, and so insurance policies are having to track the increased value of housing, right? Because the way that insurance works is you want to have replacement coverage should there be a loss of your home. So if your home was $100,000 in 2010 and it's now worth $500,000, then of course your premiums are going to go up. And the other unfortunate thing, in the last 25 years in Montana, we've seen high severity of wildfires in Montana, not only in terms of the number of wildfires, but also in terms of the amount of loss. And so you can imagine that insurers are starting to price their homeowners policies based on what the risk of wildfire loss is in Montana.
You bet. Wow. Yep. Now I understand. Thanks for that explanation. Stay tuned, and we will be right back with more valuable information from our commissioner and our bureau chief.
Hey, caregivers, did you know that respite time is your time? How will you spend it?
Respite is really perfect for things I like to do, but my son isn't interested in.
Vicki Henry, Manhattan.
Gardening isn't one of his favorite things, and he knows and likes his caregivers a lot, so it's a win-win. Or even something as simple as a bike ride becomes possible when I know that someone I trust is with him.
Montana Lifespan Respite. Respite for caregivers. It's okay to need it. It's okay to want it. It's okay to get it.
It's good for both of us.
I think the most pleasant surprise when we turned 65 and signed up for Medicare Part B was finding out about our Welcome to Medicare preventive visit.
It was free, and it gave us the opportunity to visit with our doctors and establish a plan for our health going forward.
They reviewed our medical history, measured our height, weight, blood pressure, and counseled us on other risk factors.
To learn more about Medicare's free or low-cost preventive and wellness benefits, call your local SHIP counselor at 800-551-3191. I mentioned it's free, right?
Twice.
I've been shooting since I was young. It's something I've always enjoyed. I wasn't feeling like myself, but my friend noticed. He asked if he could hold onto my guns temporarily. At first, I was a little shocked, but then I agreed. I think he saved my life that day.
Medicare loses $60 million in Montana each year, $60 billion nationally. Medicare processes 4.5 million claims a day. They don't know who your doctor is, but you do. Mistakes can happen. Read your Medicare statements and call Montana Senior Medicare Patrol if you see anything unexpected. 1-800-551-3191. This project is supported by a grant by the Administration for Community Living.
We're back, and we've been talking to Commissioner James Brown of the Securities and Insurance and Montana State Auditor, and Ted Bidon, Investigator Bureau Chief, and also Insurance Consumer Services. Ted, can you walk us through some precautionary measures our seniors could take regarding homeowners insurance?
Yeah, absolutely. There's some real important tips that I think are very helpful. One of the first things you'll want to do is review your policy annually. So each year when the policy is under consideration for reissue, they'll send you a packet of information. And this happened to me personally. This year I went through my policy information very carefully, and I actually found a couple things that were incorrect. And I was able to get those corrected. I spoke to my agent. He was able to correct those things, and it reduced my premium. Oh. So it's really important to review the policy very carefully. It's also helpful when you speak to your agent, ask them about any discounts that might be out there.
Available.
Yeah, sometimes there are. If you've made any changes to your home, like adding smoke detectors or any type of fire protection or fire-resistant building materials, that might bring about a discount. Mm-hmm. Or you can also look at bundling the home and auto together. Sometimes that's helpful, another way to save some money. In areas where people are having a difficult time finding insurance, which we'll talk more about some of the reasons for that, it's important to then seek out additional coverage, which sometimes is available through surplus lines. That's a good resource. Okay. You can talk to an independent agent or broker about surplus lines coverage. It can be really important when you're in a home where there's potentially more wildfire risk, right, where standard coverage, they won't accept you. So that's a good resource as well. We do encourage people that are in those areas where there's that wildfire risk to look into preparedness programs. There's some great preparedness programs in Montana. There's a state program called Fire Safe Montana. Yeah. It's a great program. Yeah. They do a great job of helping people in the community assess their homes. There's a national program called FireWise USA, which helps not only homeowners individually, their intention is really to help HOAs or whole communities fire safe their whole area, which is really helpful. We have multiple areas, communities in Montana that are fire safe rated communities by that program, and it's been very good for them. There was also a House Bill 136 that was passed this year. That bill allows insurers to offer discounts if you participate in programs and do mitigation around your property, so that's beneficial. I would also advise people to make sure they're really aware of their coverage and the coverage limits. We receive calls once in a while, and it's very disheartening when people find out after they have a loss they didn't have enough coverage, because as the commissioner said, prices have went up with real estate. And so make sure you talk with your agent and that you get a real clear picture on what your coverage levels are in your home.
You bet, you bet.
And then, of course, use trusted resources. You're going to hear us say this a lot. Go to our website. We've tried to gather the resources together that are helpful in one single spot on our website. Our team has done a great job. So csi@mt.gov. There's some great resources there to help with this.
Thank you, Chad. Thanks. Commissioner Brown, let's hear, what else can seniors do to prepare their homes to protect themselves and protect themselves?
Right. This is a very key question. Being proactive is the key to creating safety in your own home and safety outside of the home in order to mitigate against risk of loss. So the first thing is to maintain your home's fire safety features. This includes maintaining your smoke detectors, your fire extinguishers, and your residential sprinkler systems. You want to check up regularly to make sure those are working to protect yourself within the home. And then outside the home, you want to create a defensible space around your property should there be a risk of a wildfire. So this includes clearing brush and debris around the property, thinking about your outdoor areas, including cleaning out your gutters every year at least, and making sure your roof is clear of any debris. Simple maintenance of these areas can help protect your home in the event of fire. Big one, of course, is having an evacuation plan, both how to get out of your own home should there be a risk of fire to get yourself and your family and your pets outside. You know your house better than anybody. Take a few minutes to come up with a plan as to how you'll extricate yourself from your home safely if there's an emergency. And then in the event you get a notice from your insurance company that they may be non-renewing your policy due to wildfire risk. A lot of that's going on in Montana. Don't wait. Don't act on that immediately. Call your agent immediately to see if you can find an alternative policy.
All right. Thanks, Commissioner. Ted, quickly, what about seniors who might feel overwhelmed? Because right now I'm a little overwhelmed and I'm not there yet, but who might feel overwhelmed by insurance jargon, they don't understand, and they're worried about affordability.
Yeah, I completely understand that. I've worked in the industry for 17 years, and I still have questions and things that I don't understand. It's so broad. You know, that's what our insurance consumer services folks are for. If you need help understanding policy language or details about your policy, if you have any questions about any type of insurance, our experts are fully prepared to answer those questions, as well as if you have a dispute. If you feel like a claim's not being handled properly or you have a dispute with your agent, give us a call. We're there to help.
Great. And I know you mentioned your website earlier on. Would you repeat that website?
Yes, our website is csimt.gov. And then our phone number is 406-444-2040. You can also reach ICS directly at ics@mt.gov.
Thank you. We will be right back with more valuable information, so stay tuned.
Elder abuse is a growing problem, and it's happening right here in our Montana communities. At least 1 in 10 older adults are victims of physical or emotional abuse, financial exploitation, or neglect. To get help or report elder abuse, call your local area agency on aging or Adult Protective Services at 1-844-277-9300.
Every 65 seconds, someone is affected with Alzheimer's or other dementias. Many become isolated at a time when help is most needed. If you or someone you love is affected, help is available, both for people with memory loss and their caregivers. Memory loss can feel frightening, but you are not alone. Call the free 24/7 Alzheimer's Association helpline, 800-272-3900, for guidance and support.
You mean I can get help paying my prescription drug premiums?
Let me get this straight. I could be eligible for help with my family's prescription premiums even though I own my own home?
And our assets won't be counted.
If you're a Montana resident enrolled in the Medicare prescription drug program, you could be eligible for help paying your premiums. Call or visit the Big Sky RX website today to find out, even if you think you're over income.
What do you know about that? I'm eligible.
When I found out it was diabetes, my first thought was, Barb, you need help. You have to take control of this. There is help. My doctor gave me a phone number. I called and signed up with a diabetes educator. There is help. I have to put blinders on when I walk past the bakery counter. I can feel my blood sugar go up. You succeed a little at a time. If you have diabetes, help is available. You do not have to do it alone.
Ask your doctor about diabetes education or visit montana211.org.
We're back. This is Aging Horizons. Commissioner Brown, what are some of the key wildfire preparedness seniors could take? What are some of those steps that senior could take?
Yeah, this is a very key question. So we know from observation of what happened in the LA area in January of this year with the huge wildfires down there and the tragic situation in Hawaii. The wildfires can spread very quickly and present an immediate risk of loss to life and to property. So preparedness, again, is key. Preparation is vital. One, know your evacuation routes and have a plan for your household and pets. So we talked a little bit earlier about knowing how to get out of your house if there's a fire, but also know how to get out of your neighborhood if the need is immediate. Create a defensible space like we talked about. Clear flammable materials at least 30 feet from your home so that they don't become some kind of spark. Use fire-resistant building materials when making repairs or renovations. This is very key. So when you're thinking about repairing your home or doing maintenance or improvement on your home, make sure that you have fire-resistant materials. What we saw in the LA situation is those houses that were prepared for wildfire are the ones that survived. Have an emergency supply kit ready. Make sure that you have a place for your important documents that is easy to find and that won't burn. Make sure you know where your medications are, and then have masks in the home so that in the event that there is a fire, most people perish in a home fire due to smoke inhalation. Stay informed, again, by signing up for community alerts. FEMA, the federal agency, has a app that has real-time updates on how to prepare for wildfire emergencies. And then as Ted talked about, our agency offers many resources to help you itemize your valuables so that you have that listed in case there is a loss. You can just go to your insurance company, right? And one of the good steps that we recommend people take is take pictures of your home and your valuables so that you have that available as well. These resources can be found at our website, again, csimt.gov. Montana DNRC offers wildfire risk assessments in a helpful video. They'll actually come to your property and do an assessment. Yeah, that's great. And then Northwestern Energy and the utility companies in Montana obviously are preparing for wildfires as well. And so they have resources that you can go to their web pages and find materials that they provide as to what happens, like turning off your power or turning off your gas, that sort of thing. Be prepared is the key here.
I hear you, Commissioner. You couldn't have said it better. So, Ted, let's talk about. I understand that there are special programs. I know you briefly touched on it. You talked about Fire Safe Seniors. You talk about Fire Safe program, but there's a program for Fire Safe Seniors.
Yes. Yeah.
So, can you tell the audience about it?
Sure. So the Fire Safe Senior program is specifically designed for older adults and have material that's going to really focus more on their lives and the things that are going on with them. There's a process, again, that we've talked about doing that home assessment. There's assistance with that, help people install smoke detectors. There's also a lot of really good educational material that's tailored specifically for the older community. That can be done in community centers. There's all kinds of different information available on their website at the Fire Safe Senior program.
Okay. So, where can seniors find more information about these programs?
Yeah,
I know you're sending us to your website.
That's right. We've really tried to make it as simple as possible. So we've consolidated and put links to all of that information on our website at csimt.gov. And so all of those programs can be viewed there. If for some reason you don't have website access and you still want to get more information about those programs, just give us a call, and one of our compliance specialists will be happy to walk you through the process and get you the information.
Okay, let's go back a little bit. There are certain areas in Montana more affected by wildfire risk. Can you talk about some of those areas?
Yeah, there certainly are. Some areas are certainly more affected. FEMA has done some real good studies, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, and in their studies in Wyoming, 54% of buildings are at risk of wildfire exposure, and in Montana, 51% of buildings are at risk for exposure.
That's high.
Montana is second in the nation, yeah. If you live in an area where you're at a higher risk for wildfire, we really encourage people to be proactive. I think we've talked a lot about the mitigation steps you can take to protect your home, but we really encourage people also to be proactive about seeking their insurance coverage. There have been some non-renewals that have went out this year, and we've gotten some phone calls about that. That's where reaching out to the independent agents and brokers can be really helpful with surplus lines type coverage.
Okay, you bet. So, Commissioner Brown, just before we wrap up, we have about, a minute. Can you, are there any final advice for our viewers? Any words of wisdom? Final words of wisdom.
Yes, and thank you for having us on the show today. This is an important topic.
It is
One of the things that people need to be reminded of, just because you live in an urban area, like within a city, it doesn't mean you're not at risk for wildfire. We've seen instances in Montana where fires have burned into towns and burned buildings and have been loss of property. Yeah. Two big takeaways from today that I hope your viewers will keep in mind. One is to review your insurance rates and your policies regularly to make sure that they're up to date. Second, prepare your home. Do things that you can do to prevent loss from wildfire risk. Don't hesitate to seek help. As we talked about at the top of the show, that's what our agency does, the State Auditor's Office. We are tasked with the legislature to help Montana consumers. And finally, if you have any questions, as Ted said, reach out to us at the State Auditor's Office. We're here to help.
Thank you, gentlemen. We appreciate you being here. This has been Aging Horizons, a program brought to you by Montana Department of Public Health and Human Services. And we've had Commissioner James Brown and Bureau Chief Ted Badon. Thank you, gentlemen. See you and be safe.
Special thanks to the Department of Public Health and Human Services for their continued support. Hosts on Aging Horizons are program specialists at the Montana Office on Aging. Production facilities provided by Video Express Productions. For more information about Aging Horizons, call the Department of Public Health and Human Services toll-free at 800-332-2272.